Welcome to the Week 13 recap brought to you by your reigning champion, Mark McCauley. First, look at the matchup of Chris and Ant. Chris, who has had a bit of a QB carousel this year, decided to go with Mariota, who was actually solid, to put up close to 20. Chris had a real solid stack of skill players, including the lethal duo of Gurley and Julio, and he was able to muster 99 points in this one. Now, Chris was playing Ant, who was only able to put up 87 points, despite 22 from Rex Burkhead, a real solid play from Ant. Don't want to give Ant too much credit here, as he probably would be undefeated if he had just kept his team instead of trading all his good players for about $400 of free agent money. Kind of shocking that he wasn't able to distribute that free agent cash more wisely and pick up a better QB than Blaine Gabbert. Next up, we have Zach. It was a battle of a bad team versus a good team. Now, Sean is harnessing his inner Tom by having a team name based on a guy that doesn't play for him. Ironically, he dealt Ajayi to Tom. Behind a couple big games from Kenyon Drake and Travis Kelce, Sean surprisingly was able to blow out Zach, whose team was solid, just didn't have anybody blow up, as Sean wins 112 to 88. Next up, this one had major playoff implications in terms of the seeding. Tom once again succeeded in his plan for trading all his studs for mediocre depth. The majority of Tom's team played atrociously, but behind a defense and a kicker who both exploded in an insane game from Tyreek Hill, Tom was able to pull this one out, 118 to 106. His sluggish squad played well, just not well enough to get the W. I don't think this will be the last we hear of sluggish squad, as they look poised to make a deep playoff push. All right, so next we have Dan versus Jack. Dan finishes up maybe the single worst regular season in our league's history at 1-12, as he was barely able to crack 90 points, even with his QB going off for 41. He proved to be no match for Jackie B, who's been riding the hot hands of Alvin Kamara and Keenan Allen, who have had top 5 caliber seasons at their respective positions. Jack wins 119 to 93. Next up, versus Alex, and nearly 4 months after its inception, we finally have our answer. As it turns out, drafting 3 QB1s actually didn't translate into a playoff season for Alex, as he misses the playoffs for the second consecutive season. Despite AJ Green having a big game, Alex only puts up 78 points, while Jake's team really doesn't do anything, but big games from Alex Collins and Mark Ingram give Jake the edge here, as he tops the 85-point marker and secures his place as the only 9-4 squad in the league, winning the regular season crown. Nice work, Jake. Myself and Rods, who were battling for the rights to play Tom in round 1, which clearly is a lot of incentive for both squads to try and get the W. However, neither of our teams actually showed up. If not for a Joe Mixon injury, he got concussed during the game. Mike probably pulls out the W here, but poor performances from Thielen, Woodhead, and Smith-Schuster cracked the door for my team to sneak out the W, while basically getting nothing out of my best player, Mike Evans, who's been a piece of shit the whole season. Now, the play of the week, brought to you by DraftKings, where legends are made. This week we feature the excellent depth play from our own Tommy Lawton, who started Devonta Booker, who totaled 3 touches for 8 yards. I really hope he doesn't spin this guy out next week in the playoffs against me, as he gets another touch or two. He might really do some damage, maybe even reach a 20-yard marker. Watch out, boys. All right, next we have our final regular season standings. We have maybe our most balanced standings ever, as every playoff team is within 2 games of one another. Even the Sacco records were not that atrocious, aside from Dan's 1-12 showing. Jake is able to cap off a regular season crown, which means absolutely jack shit, but nice work, as he pulls an easy round 1 matchup against Rodenbush, who's been ravaged by injuries. Next, we have the points for standings, which almost always gets fucked, and this year it is Sean, who, despite being 5th in the league in points, misses the playoffs, while Chris leads the league in points, and he is not one of the top seeds. Now, taking a look at the playoff bracket, the 1-8-4-5 side of the bracket seems to be much easier road for the Yankock than the bottom half of the bracket. A lot of the heavyweights are lying in the bottom half. Top half, very underwhelming. There's no clear-cut favorite this year, though. So it's really anybody's to take home. It's just going to come down to execution, the big moments, and luck. Look out for Chris, Stanton, and Jake. I bet you it's one of those three this year. As for the Sacco, Terry has this one all but locked up, but I don't think anyone else has to worry. Yeah, Terry, sorry, you're prepare to get shaved or waxed. All right, boys, that is all. Everyone, please have a good playoff weekend, great holiday season, and let's have Tommy and the boys bring home that 6th Lombardi. I'll see you boys later.